Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the show. And what a series we have just witnessed. India and England, two of the fiercest rivals in the red ball game, gave us five matches that all went into the fifth day. That in itself says everything about the intensity of this contest. We saw fluctuating fortunes, dropped catches, gutsy hundreds, fiery spells, and moments where one mistake could have tilted the balance completely. This wasn't just another test series. It was a reminder of why we love this format. A format that tests not just skill, but patience, resilience, and character. From Shubman Gill's flashes of brilliance to Jaiswal's big knocks, from Siraj's relentless overs to England's counter crunch to Root and Brook, it was a theatre spread across 25 days. And through it all, one big truth stood out. Test cricket is still alive and still capable of gripping us to the very last session. Today, we're not just breaking down the numbers and performances. We're asking those bigger questions, those emotional questions about players, about the team, about the future of this beautiful game. So let's dive straight in. At the start of day five, who thought honestly that India could pull it off? I mean, leave alone India pulling it off. Who thought that the game would go into day five? The way Root and Brook were batting, it looked almost like they were dragging the match with them. When exactly do you think India shifted the momentum in this match?
Actually, I just want to give three words for the series: exhilarating, entertaining, and fierce. It was absolutely brilliant to watch this. Actually, it was a great series to watch. And coming to your question, see, Root and Brook were in really good form and they were in command. They kept India quiet, flattened. And where did the momentum shift? It was after tea when two wickets fell. The clouds came in, it was overcast, and the ball started swinging very nicely. And Indian bowlers got absolute control on that. Even Prasidh Krishna was really brilliant in that. Just see how India got the momentum. So it was there where the momentum absolutely shifted, and England were thrown to the back seat. To add to that, bad light came in, and then the very next day, India's masterstroke by not picking up the new ball, because new ball
Hmm.
can behave differently. So that is where India literally changed the course of the game and won this game finally.
I think it's really difficult to pinpoint when exactly that happened, that turning point, if you like, because there were turning points and there were counter turning points. Like, for example, the Brook and Root dismissal definitely was one place. In fact, Brook's dismissal before Root's dismissal. But then again, if you look at the evening, I would have much preferred the game to carry on that evening because it was overcast, ball was moving around, and the next day, even Root said with the heavy roller, it could have all turned in England's favor. So to say that was the turning point, probably not, which was because it was countered by bad light or the players going off early. And the funny part was, in an hour there was bright sunshine, but they could not come back to play after 6:40. So
Yeah.
to pinpoint one real turning point, it's very hard. If you really force me, I think the turning point came next day when, as Prashant is saying, they resisted the temptation of taking the new ball and
Yeah.
stuck to the old ball and stuck to those two bowlers who were doing the magic. They did not have the temptation of, oh, let's try Akash Deep, let's take the
Hmm.
new ball. They stuck to the plan which was working the previous day, forgetting about the heavy roller or it's the next day or whatever. So the real turning point was the wisdom shown by India the next day. And as Ravi Shastri put, they were very clever in keeping the ball outside the off stump. Let the
Correct.
remaining English batsmen, especially Jamie Smith, who's an attacking batsman, come to the ball rather than feed them something closer to the stumps. And
Yeah.
that, in my mind, India's wisdom on the last day and the guts and gumption they showed was the turning point.
Yeah, true. Coming to them bowling only two bowlers, Siraj and Krishna, I'm reminded of one of the comments which Shubman Gill made in the first test. He told, "एक तरफ से मोहम्मद है, एक तरफ से कृष्णा, दोनों साथ मिलके तबाही मचा
Yeah.
देंगे."
It
On
was
a lighter
brilliant.
note, that was funny. Yeah. Coming to Siraj, he dropped Brook on 19, which could have been the nightmare moment. But then he redeemed himself, not just in that match, right? But right through the series, he bowled 185.3 overs in total. That's 21 overs on average per innings. He's been the workhorse of the side. Should BCCI now start thinking of giving workload breaks to Siraj just like they did for Bumrah?
100% no. Because my view is this whole workload management thing should be chucked out of the window. You are professional athletes, for goodness sake. And when we say he bowled 21 overs on an average per inning, right? So what else is he supposed to do? He's a premier fast bowler. If our team is bowling 120 overs and he is not bowling 20 overs, there is something wrong there. I remember an interview with Kapil Dev long time ago. He said, "Okay, what made you the most successful fast bowler for India?" He said, "My legs, and then the fact that I kept using them." I'm thinking this whole workload management thing is going overboard. We
Yeah.
should let players decide, and I think we'll discuss Bumrah later on. We should let players decide what they want to do. But once they enter the field, once they enter the test match as a fit person, then there is no such thing as, oh, I'll bowl 3 overs, I'll bowl 5 overs. It's a
Yeah.
battle out there. So you better
Yeah.
do that. So my view is no. Workload management should be left to those scientifically minded nerds, not for cricket, please.
And Nimal, don't give ideas to BCCI like this, because your
Yeah.
question in itself gives idea to BCCI.
Yeah.
Uh,
And on that lush green top at the Oval, both teams struggled in the first innings. Although in the first innings, I thought that Gill's run out was completely avoidable and it left a feeling of what if. And in the second innings, Jaiswal gave us a sublime 118. Akash Deep stunned everyone with a 66 as a night watchman. But the middle order collapsed again. What are your thoughts on how the batting spanned in this World Test match?
And this fact of run out in Test cricket, it is looking very abnormal. Why do you want to take those risky runs and get run out unnecessarily when the game is going at a slow pace, when you have sessions and days to play? So I don't think you need to go for risky runs and get run out. And Shubman Gill, it was stupid on his part, to be very honest. And I think you need to play a little bit with control, and you have to cultivate a mindset that these are not the things that we should be wanting. That those singles are like cherry on the top of the cake. Think about the full cake. Don't think about the cherry.
Yeah.
So that's how they should cultivate a special mindset for them. Coming to the second innings, I think Jaiswal and Akashdeep, I think literally they wore down English bowlers with their partnership. They made English bowlers wanting and gasping for breath, and that was really fantastic batting, absolutely. And out of the four in control 50 plus scores, I think Jaiswal with 70.5% and Akash Deep with 67.7%, I think was phenomenal. So to be very honest, I think that was the partnership which took the sting out of the England team and literally tilted the game in our favor. Applauses and salute for that effort.
I'm also reminded of Washington Sundar's, quick 50. The margin with which we won by 7 runs. That could have not happened if he did not hit that quick 50 with one man left in the crease. Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely, absolutely. The big question for me is: will we continue to be super cautious and play batsmen right down to number 8 or 9 because we want to have some insurance against top order failures? It worked here to an extent that we were able to draw the series, but moving forward, we have West Indies and then we have South Africa both in India. Are we still going to have that cautious mentality and guard against top order failures by having all rounders all the way? Or are we going to be aggressive and play at least 5 bowlers and go for the win every time? That's the big question which we should be able to answer. And I think all of us know my opinion. I think 6 batsmen are enough. A couple of all rounders, if we can find according to the conditions, is enough. Because I think this tour has given us enough confidence in our batting.
And when you look beyond this match, right, just like Jagdeep's uncle hinted, there are bigger questions staring at Indian cricket. Take Sai Sudarshan. Apart from 150 that he scored, he didn't look convincing. Is he really ready to own that number 3 spot? Then we have Karun Nair. He did get a 50 in the first innings, but beyond that, it feels like his time is nearly up. Does he deserve another chance on Indian tracks? And then Jadeja, he is 36-year-old, still a force with the bat and the ball on the field. But with Akshar Patel around the corner, how secure is his place in the playing 11, at least till the 2027 WTC Final? And on a lighter note, I would like to say that he at least doesn't complain about his white beard. And then the fast bowling bench too raises questions. Prasid Krishna, Akash Deep, and even Anshul Kamboj. Do we keep backing them after mixed outings, or should we start looking elsewhere? With 2 home series coming up against West Indies and South Africa, is India looking settled, or are we still in a cycle of experimentation?
Regarding experimentation, I don't think you can experiment in the South Africa series. They are in really good form and they are playing well with their spinners actually doing well in subcontinent conditions, with evidence being the Bangladesh tour before the final they played. So you can't experiment over there. You need to go in with a set squad. But talking about the West Indies series, you can try out a few names. There were three players who were on the bench during the England series: Abhimanyu Ishwaran, Arshdeep Singh, and Kuldeep Yadav. I think all three can have a look in. You can give confidence to players like Arshdeep, bring him in as one fast bowler option, and then give Abhimanyu Ishwaran the chance at the top of the order or maybe at number three, if not Sudarshan and Karun are selected. So what I would also say is that give one chance to Sudarshan or even Karun on Indian conditions. Let us see what they do on Indian conditions. That is going to be very crucial again, because if they don't do well even in Indian conditions, I think you can look beyond them. That is a no-brainer actually. So Abhimanyu Ishwaran, for all his exploits in the domestic circuit, I think he deserves a chance, at least one chance. Even if he fails, just give him that one chance, because an uncapped cricketer gets a different respect compared to a capped cricketer. And also talking about the bowlers, coming to Akshar Patel, I think you can give him a chance in place of Jadeja. Jadeja was a workhorse, just like Siraj during the England series, with the bat, with the ball on the field. So I think Akshar Patel can get a look in, but I don't think we are looking at anywhere at the 2027 final now, because we are still in the early stages of the Test Championship cycle. So we cannot think about the finals right now. We need to qualify for that first. So in that order, I think Jadeja can be rested for the West Indies series. I don't think this series would be as tough for the Indian team, but not to undermine the West Indies, but still you can give a lot more people a chance, because on Indian conditions we can be a little bit better. Also, Rishabh Pant might not be available for this series due to his injury, so we can try going in with Dhruv Jurel as wicketkeeper batter. So he can give you the much needed solidity at number 5 or number 6, depending on the other top order positions, whoever occupies it. So I think pretty much India's squad will be stacked. Even if you go in with players who are not in the first choice 11, I think you have a stronger squad to go against the West Indies.
The big worry for me is the fast bowling strength. We were so happy about a couple of years ago that we've got enough fast bowlers in our pipeline to last us 3, 4, 5 years. But their fitness leaves a lot to be desired. Even Akashdeep didn't look very fit in the last innings. He didn't bowl that great. And that is a worry for me. He, being one of those pipeline guys, is not showing that resilience physically to last test matches. Then Arshdeep definitely deserves a chance because of the novelty he brings, left arm angle, and he deserves to be the next guy in. But we definitely need to look at our fast bowling strength, especially Bumrah being on and off now. Siraj is a workhorse, but he's on the wrong side of 30s. We need to develop mid 20s fast bowlers who will give India service in the next 3 to 5 years.
Some English fans argue that India won only because Stokes was rested. But is this really a fair excuse, or just a way, of taking the shine off what was one of India's grittiest test wins overseas? Because if you look at the series closely, every match went into the fifth day. Even that green top of the oval, which many thought would fold inside 3 days, gave us a full 5 day thriller. Shubman Gill was right when he said if these test matches were played over 4 days, all of them would have ended in dull draws. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The patience, the grind, the drama that only test cricket can give. So here's what I want to ask to you. How important was the series, not just for India or England, but for the very future of this red ball cricket? And as fans, deep down, what did this win and this 2-2 draw mean to you? Not just in the scoreline, but in your hearts as lovers of this longest format.
Talking about Ben Stokes being rested and that being a chance for India to win, for me, it should be a fair excuse, to be honest, because had Ben Stokes been there, I think the batting collapse would have been avoided by England in the fourth innings. And also, his bowling was literally missing. England were missing his bowling because he took 17 wickets in 8 innings at an average of 25. So that is really a great stat for a fast bowler. So his bowling was missing the control that he brought in the mid innings. He broke partnerships, and his fielding was absolutely crucial, getting out Rishabh Pant once. And every time he has been there on the field with the bat or with the ball, I think he has done very well. Especially the Manchester Test, he was coming back to form. Picked 5 wickets with the ball and scored 141 runs with the bat. I think he was just slowly coming to form, terrorizing the Indian bowlers. So he was a big miss. But I'm not taking the shine off India's win actually, because if Ben Stokes was not fit, it is his fault. He has overlooked himself on fitness. He overbowled himself in the Manchester Test, and that costed him to be out of the Oval Test. So India's win, I think, is absolutely special for every Indian and also for many cricket fans around the world.
And if you look at the whole test series as a whole, India lost 5 tosses. India's best fast bowler did not play 2 test matches, and we ended up winning those ones. So there were plenty of ifs and buts and variables throughout the 5 test matches. And every test match is just that, it's test. So you cannot belittle a victory because one player did not play or we lost the test because of the toss or anything of that sort. And this brings us to the beauty of test cricket. It should be left as it is, 5 days. The only thing which I'll make changes to is have harsher penalties for teams not bowling 90 overs during the day. If they can bowl 98 during the last day, they can jolly well bowl 90 during the other days. Having 80 overs or 79 overs in some cases is a shame. You should be punished harder. Money is no object for these millionaire cricketers. They will never be straightened out by having them fined. So that aside, talking about the emotional aspect of what it meant for us as an Indian cricket fan or fans of Test cricket, there were tears on the last day. I can tell you that it was super emotional. I think this series ranks really high in terms of India's successes abroad. Although it was technically a drawn series, I'll rate it really high. The only one better than this one is obviously the Gaba victory and the series which we won there. I don't think anything will surpass that. But that's not to say this one wasn't creditable or emotional. It was super emotional. I talked to friends I hadn't talked to for 15 years after India won that test match. And there were scenes which I was jumping around like a 16-year-old boy, which I never thought I'll do. But all this can only be possible if India wins test series or test matches. India won the Champions Trophy. I was happy. Okay. India won the T20 World Cup. Yeah, okay. I can feel happy as an Indian. But what really brings joy to my soul is when India wins test matches and that too abroad. I think that describes my feelings.
And that's it from this series discussion. 5 matches, endless talking points, and one reminder that Test cricket has the power to make us feel everything from frustration to joy, from doubt to belief. A 2-2 draw on paper, but in spirit, maybe the biggest win for the format itself. Until next time, keep the love for red ball cricket alive. Thank you.
I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying to talk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they go, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of dude the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.